Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We are the best choice for all your amazing videos. Today we will be surfing through the things we do, inhale, eat, and so on that cause harm to the body with the title, Everyday Things That Are Killing You. We will be talking about a few hazardous items that are particularly hard to abstain from. If you want to become part of our team, make sure you subscribe down below. You can also click the bell to turn notifications on, just so you don't miss anything we post each day. Let's get started.
There's gotta be a breakup ahead.
Coffee. Coffee can actually be a lifesaver, especially on Monday morning that requires hectic meetings, but it is also still very much a drug. The actual lethal dose of caffeine is given to be about 150 milligrams per kilogram of a human's body, which translates into roughly 70 average cups of coffee, depending on size, the type of coffee, and any existing medical conditions. The worst effects of drinking coffee have been reported to be restlessness, insomnia, an upset stomach, anxiety, and a racing heart. Take that to an even further extreme, and caffeine can actually overstimulate the nervous system so much that it would cause a cardiac dysrhythmia, irregular heartbeat, or a seizure. Although caffeine poisoning is extremely rare and relatively unlikely with coffee alone, however, the advent of pills and caffeine-based energy drinks have made this problem worse. Alcohol. Well, it's not exactly a secret that drinking alcohol is bad for your health. According to the National Institute of Health, alcohol has the tendency to increase the likelihood of having various types of cancers. These include cancer of the mouth, esophagus, throat, larynx, liver, and breast. The likelihood is even worse for alcohol consumers who also smoke. A previous study found that alcohol was strongly linked to the diagnosis of breast cancer. The likelihood actually increases with the dose and also depends on height, weight, gender, etc. Limiting alcohol or drinking within reasonable limits is suggested. Women are advised to limit their alcohol consumption to 1 glass and men to 2 glasses per day. Air fresheners. Now, we all know that air fresheners make sure that we come home to a sweet-smelling house and car. They have become essential home care products and have replaced good old cleanup routines and traditional potpourri and pomanders made of lavender blooms, spices, and citrus fruits. No one really wants a smelly car or home, but when we really think about it, do these easy-to-use air fresheners improve the quality of the air in any way? They're simply masking the foul odors, giving us a false sense of sanitation. How do they do that? Well, air fresheners contain some chemical substances that the onslaught of the olfactory receptors in our nostrils, rendering them incapable of recognizing other smells. Not only that, they also add a bunch of other harmful chemicals into our homes, deteriorating the air quality further. Here are a number of common chemicals found in air fresheners. Acetaldehyde. This chemical with a misleadingly innocuous fruity odor is a known carcinogen. Benzaldehyde. Classified by United States Environmental Protection Agency as an unsafe substance, this chemical smells of almond oil. 1,3-dichloro-2-propanol, a strong-smelling chemical that has been known to cause kidney and liver cancers. 1,4-dichlorobenzene, another carcinogen with a strong smell that can mask other odors by desensitizing our sensory receptors. Methylpyrrolidone, as featured on the list of chemicals known to the state to cause cancer or reproductive toxicity in accordance to the California Proposition 65. Add these to petroleum-based solvents and fragrances, and we have a potent concoction of cancer-inflicting substances. That's not to mention their role in causing neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Instead, buy an essential oil diffuser and add some drops of your favorite essential oil. Trust me, it works. Canned foods. Most of us find the convenience of canned goods very hard to resist. Now, I'm not saying they're not healthy, but they can be dangerous. The vacuum sealing in metal containers lined with plastic coating allayed the fears of contamination with heavy metals from the cans and also the use of harmful chemical preservatives, although it has raised brand new concerns. The plastic lining of bisphenol A is implicated with hormonal disturbances and disorders, as well as DNA changes that resulted in breast cancer. What we will have to do is cut down on canned foods. If you're looking for your favorite tomato sauce, use the ones in the glass jars instead of cans. Don't even think about consuming vegetables or grains in cans. Simply buy the fresh ones to avoid the risk of developing many chronic diseases. Cancer, obesity, heart disease, diabetes, nervous system disorder, and Alzheimer's all come down to consuming these altered foods. All in all, I think sticking to whole foods is always best. Cosmetics. Looking good has become the other of the day, and we all find ourselves using makeup, dyes, creams, and the rest. Since they are basically applied externally to enhance appearance, their use is taken into account as incidental and temporary. And if any testing at all is done on their safety, it is majorly to test for pain, burning sensation, changes in skin color, and other localized allergic reactions. It may seem that you can just get rid of all these ingredients in cosmetics by just washing them off at the end of the day, but it has been proven that the appearance of certain chemicals like benzophenone 3 appear in urine many days after use, which points to the fact that they are not only absorbed, but also stored in the body as well. Hair dyes have also been linked to cancer likelihoods. Even the fragrances used in these products are particularly suspicious, and you can't even trust those who claim to be natural or organic. The best way to steer clear of all this havoc is to use products from an all-natural, non-toxic makeup brand. High-temperature cooking. Leading a healthy lifestyle and healthy eating is known to prevent a number of chronic illnesses. Also, the way we prepare our food is important. The National Institute of Health reported that when meat is cooked at very high temperatures, like frying in a pan or grilling over an open flame, heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon chemicals are formed. HCAs are created when amino acids and creatine react at very high temperatures. PAHs, on the other hand, are formed when fat and juices from meat over an open flame drip into the fire, creating flames. According to a study, significant exposure to HCAs and PAHs could most definitely cause cancer in animals. Tumors of the breast, liver, colon, lung, skin, and prostate developed in animal test subjects. Though the dosage was significantly higher in the animal test subjects than consumed by human beings, evidence suggests that cooking meat at very high temperatures could have potentially negative effects on our health and gastrointestinal tract. Granite. You're probably just as shocked as I was when this popped up during my research. Granite is a hard-wearing stone that looks great once used in flooring, wall cladding, or as countertops. When polished to a mirror finish, it is easy to clean and less likely to stain in comparison with marble. These unique factors have made it common with many modern kitchens. Well, apparently these granite countertops emit very high levels of radon, which is a radioactive gas that is believed to increase the likelihood of, you guessed it, cancer. It is a decay product of radium that is derived as soon as uranium and thorium in bedrocks decay. Radon as a gas is colorless and odorless, which makes it impossible to detect with our senses. When emitted by the granite within homes, it remains close to the ground and accumulates, steadily releasing radioactive daughter elements and ionizing radiation. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer. Testing for radon gas is the only way to detect its presence. Reducing the use of granite and providing active ventilation in the areas it may be used help to cut down the likelihood of exposure. Electronic devices. Today, when people think of electronic devices, they automatically tag them with a capital red flag. We hold our mobile phones against our ears, and the big question is whether these electronic devices could contribute to tumors, cancerous or not. Mobile phones vitally emit radio frequency energy, and the number of mobile phone users has increased dramatically over the years. According to NCI, radio frequency is a form of electromagnetic radiation which can be broken down into two types: ionizing, radon, X-rays, and cosmetic rays, and non-ionizing, power frequency and radio frequency. Although mobile phones are categorized under non-ionizing electromagnetic radiation and cannot damage cells or DNA directly, research has suggested that it could increase the likelihood of cancer by actually reducing the melatonin levels in the body. Melatonin has been shown to inhibit the development of certain tumors. Apart from these deadly diseases like cancers, there are other problems these devices can cause. Our constant typing can damage the tendons of our fingers. And if you think reading on the mobile doesn't count as a bad thing, you are mistaken. The LED light it emits is not doing your eyes any good. Which is bad for me because I'm using a phone to read this script. Salt. It is well known that salt or sodium increases the risk of having heart diseases and strokes. As any reader of Castaway Survivor stories knows, we are not supposed to drink seawater. Why? Well, because there is far too much salt in it for our bodies to handle. Most of us have heard about sodium. Sodium and chloride are the primary components of salt. Sodium is actually an electrolyte that regulates the water and flows in and out of our cells. When there is too much sodium in the interstitial fluid that cleans our cells, water will naturally leave those cells through osmosis to restore the balance, and this causes the cells to shrink. Obvious symptoms of excess salt in the body, or hypernatremia, are known to be unresponsiveness, lethargy, and weakness. Too much salt also causes seizures or a coma. Now, combine that with the fact that most of us consume a higher average of salt per meal because of taste or just as a preservative, and you've got yourself a recipe for a disaster. A very salty disaster. I saved the best for last, but first I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. So if you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it. It really works. Water. Yes, you heard right. Water. This is a perfect example of how too much of a good thing can kill you. You may be wondering how much water it takes to kill a person. Well, to be honest, not all that much. And surprising as it seems, death by water, or water intoxication as it is officially known, happens quite a lot. It is common among young people who challenge themselves to water drinking contests, endurance athletes, or ravers that take ecstasy. Our bodies generally do a good job of maintaining a water balance between all our sweating, peeing, eating, and drinking, but it always physically breaks down at the extremes. Water intoxication is relatively the opposite of too much salt. When there is too much water and not enough salt in the interstitial fluids, our cells start taking in water and swell up like balloons. Tightly packed brain cells have no room to swell inside the skull, and that leads to fatal brain damage. Not to fear though, we just have to stick to our 7 glasses a day and keep living our lives. And we have come to the close of today's video. Before we go, I want you guys to drop your thoughts down in the comments section below if you haven't done so already. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to leave a thumbs up and share with all of your friends. Thanks for watching, and have an excellent day. And have an excellent